The wonderful people at Wargamer, in collaboration with Fohammer, have sent me a little bit of their resin to play with and test. But Mr. Fohammer himself has also sent me a bit of a challenge. Challenge accepted. Now, you guys know how much I love my Ultracraft Reflex from HeyGears, and you also know how much I love to use third-party resins in this machine. And today we're going to be using the Wargamer resins that they've sent me to test in this machine. And Mr. Fohammer himself has sent me this challenge. He wants me to test every single profile and every single layer height with this resin on this printer, and that is a mission accepted. So let's get that Wargamer resin into the HeyGears and crack off this immense mission. I'm really excited to see just how this does. We're going to be using the Blueprint Slicer Beta, and all you need to do when you get into this slicer is tell it to use the tank that you're using, which is going to be regular, and we're going to start selecting resins. I'm going to use miniature first, and I'm going to use PAP 10, and I'm going to use 50 microns. That's our first test on it, and once we've agreed that, we're going to confirm it, and I'm going to be dragging into it the Table Flip Foundry cones of calibration, and that is what we're going to be using to test this calibration. This is a really good test and quite an accurate one as well. Now, we'll probably do some other tests as well, but this is definitely going to be the main player in this, and I'm going to send this across to the HeyGears straight away. Once I am happy that everything is good, it's going to wirelessly whiz across the airwaves to the printer, and when it's landed with it, I'm just going to press print and it will do its magic. Now, the HeyGears is a wonderful printer. Please check out my review for this machine, and if you want to buy it, there'll be some links in the description. And the first print is underway, 54 minutes, and we'll come back to that. I'm going to use some IPA, just some basic IPA to clean it. I'm putting it in a new tube, a new pot even, because I want everything to be perfectly separate from everything else I use, just so we get the best results. So about 1 hour later, the printer's finished, and there it is sitting on the build plate. Let's get it off and have a closer look at it. Now, what I'm going to do with the prints is exactly the same process. Once they're off the build plate, I'm going to clean them in IPA gently with this toothbrush, gently, for about 1 minute. No longer than that. I want to keep things absolutely the same on each print. Then I am going to cure them in the HeyGears curing station for 5 minutes. This is a recommendation from the Wargamer website. Once I've done that, I'm going to look at each one of them under a bit of a macro microscope, just so I can have a look at the success side and the failure side, and then I can decide, has this been a very good print, a bad print, has it got room for improvement, and which one's the best. And once I've done all of those with that test, I'm going to just check it again using the Frozen XP test and also the Resin Saver Cube. So these two further tests we're going to do with each particular resin, and let's come back to them when they're all done and dusted.
Printers in the room, building dreams from plastic spools, metal and resin style. Watch it printing for a while. Memories and layers tight, creating wonders day and night. Greedy for the next big thing. What amazements will it bring? From the man cave in the UK, watch our videos every day. Classic marvels come to life. Subscribe to see them.
Now, that may have improved my steps, but it's a couple of days of my life that I am never, ever getting back. When we start looking at the results of the tests, we can see that on the whole, do you know what? Everything printed really, really well. There were a few exceptions. Now, I don't know if this is down to the HeyGears itself being such an exceptional printer with its AI-driven smart peeling force management, or its intelligent regional exposure, all the things it does in the background that we have nothing to do with. Or was it down to Wargamer Resin being exceptional? Well, let's have a look at them. We've got some PAP 10 results here at 30 microns, really nice. Now the PAWR10 for me is the best one, with the failure and the success in the cones of calibrations absolutely sticking out like a sore thumb. So this is the one I'm going to try now, and I'm going to print this miniature in it, and we'll see how we get on actually printing a physical miniature print. Now I'm not going to lie, I don't normally print minis. My prints are normally a lot bigger, but it was quite exciting to print my first ever proper mini, and it came off the build plate wonderfully. All looks like it's printed beautifully as well. I've just popped it in some IPA and I've shook it around and cleaned it for about a minute before I'm very carefully taking the supports off. Now the supports came off easy enough, and they came off without taking any of the model with them, so I was really pleased that they all came off when they were supposed to. And let's just remind ourselves, this is PAWR10 Profile from the HeyGears Ultracraft Reflex Blueprint Slicer at 50 microns using the Wargamer Resin. And I'm happy to report that Puck the Adventurer printed wonderfully. I've never really seen a mini after printing it up close, and I'm quite astounded that that's it next to a ballpoint pen. The detail, if I just get my macro lens on it, is absolutely amazing. This is printed wonderfully using said resin on said profile on said printer. Let's do something a bit bigger now. So next we're going to try this larger figure here with a lot more detail and a lot more overhangs in there. I've used auto supports on the system, but one of the settings that I've changed, and this was a recommendation from Hammer himself, was if you go into auto support here and scroll down to advanced settings and find the contact shape, it's set to sphere. We're going to change that to none, and once it's set to that, I'm going to be using the PAWW10 setting on the HeyGears slicer, using of course the Wargamer Resin. Let's get it across into the Ultracraft Reflex and see how we get on. Another profile and another successful print. Everything on the surface looks absolutely wonderful. Let's look at it a little bit closer. Using the PAWW10, this is the water washable setting that the printer offers you, and the detail in this is just astounding. It's printed beautifully. I mean, what a wonderful mini. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and it's printed flawlessly. There's a couple of supports that are probably still left to get off, but they literally just fell off. The thing just looks incredible. Now for the final test, something a lot bigger. And with this model, the PAP 10 settings have been used at 50 microns, and this is the wicked Captain Kirk from the Wrath of Khan Star Trek bust, and again, it's printed absolutely beautifully. I'm just using the hairdryer to heat up the supports. Now I've used the automated supports. In fact, I've used the one-click slice setting with the printer, but again, this is the PAP 10 setting using Wargamer Resin at 50 microns, and this thing looks like it's come out absolutely beautiful. I'm going to clean it as per usual, and I'm going to cure it, and now let's have a look at it all finished. The 50 microns PAP 10 setting with the Wargamer Resin has just come out absolutely beautifully. The detail in the old James T. Kirk head there is second to none. It's just gorgeous. There's his uniform. You can see the texture and the detail, and look at that Starfleet badge. I mean, that is just amazing. I am absolutely convinced that this is the way forward. This is beautiful. This test has been absolutely perfect. Now, just for a final comparison, I thought I would print something using HeyGears' very own resin in their printer. That's on the left, that's Spock. That's their PAP 10 resin, and on the right you can see the Wargamer resin using the PAP 10 50 microns setting. Now they're both at 50 microns, and as you can see, I mean, the Spock looks perfectly fabulous, nothing wrong with it, but the Captain Kirk head again looks wonderful. So it just goes to show the awesomeness of both the printer and the resin. A little bit of clean-up work needed, of course, on both of them, but just look at the detail and the quality. I think this week has been a success. Well, thank you, Hammer, for that mission, and it was really enjoyable, actually. Wargamer on the HeyGears Ultracraft Reflex using every setting that you can see there. And I think it's fair to just conclude that everything is printed really, really well. Now, again, is this down to the HeyGears being such a fantastic printer, or is it down to the Wargamer being such a wonderful resin, or is it a little bit of a mixture of both? Well, all we can say is that everything is printed beautifully. I've had some great results from some minis. I've had great results for some bigger prints using different profiles. So I'm happy to share with you guys all the results that I've got. Now, I'm not going to put them in this video because it's probably just going to be a little bit too long-winded for you, but I'll put a link in the description where you can just find another video with everything in, and you can draw your own conclusions, which ones you like, which ones you don't like, and I'll be really interested to hear what you think in the comments about what you see for the results here. But we'll generalize it completely and say that there are some excellent settings and excellent results that I'm getting using the HeyGears Ultracraft Reflex. And this resin, I've got to be honest, really lovely stuff. Definitely recommend you get this. There'll be a link in the description if you want to get hold of some. And I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen today. Thank you again, Hammer, for the challenge. Anything else you want done, just you let me know. If you want to support the channel, you can do it in a number of ways. Please subscribe to the channel. Think about joining the Greedy 3D Patreon. It can be as little as $3 or a couple of quid a month. And if you want to buy anything that you've seen me use, the HeyGears Ultracraft Reflex, the Wargamer Resin, anything at all, a link will be in the description where a tiny little bit will kick back to the channel and just help me carry on doing what I'm doing. But it won't cost you guys a penny more. The HeyGears Ultracraft Reflex, you might even get a cheeky little discount if you follow the link. I'll leave it with you guys. See you soon, and thanks for watching.